another Chaos Central production. Chaos list, starring my main man Anzo. 1/3 of the three-headed monster we call the Chaos Central crew. This intro is by this show, the Chaos List. I hope you like it, bro. Here we go. The Chaos List is the name of the show, and the name of the host you know is Anzo. If you say something crazy, dumb, stupid, or wrong, it's a one-way trip to the fandom zone to be like Anzo. Hold up, I didn't mean it. Guess what, son? Your ass should have seen it coming. Better watch what you say, just like the Mandalorian. And this is the way. Monday night, 9 o'clock. Second Monday of the month. This is the spot. So get ready. Strap on in. The crew is ready. So let's begin. So let's go.
Oh, darn. I forgot to take off the banner. Hold on, guys. There we go. There we go. What's up? What's up? We are back with another episode of the Chaos List. Danny just got a big play by Lamar Jackson. If you haven't seen that, you're muted, though.
Come on. I just need in one league I need 13 more points. In one league I need about 22 more points. And already won in our league. So come on, Lamar. Put on your cake, brother. Put it on.
I appreciate all you guys that came in here. Thank you for popping in. Much appreciated. First off, Danny, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
You can find me on my channel on Mondays and Fridays at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That channel is called The Road to Wisdom, where I try to upload and give you some spiritual uplifting words. Also, you can find me here on the Mondays, one of the Mondays of the month, with me, Chris, and Anzo. On Wednesday, I'm on the Hangout with a bunch of other fellas. Sunday, I'm on the Storms Live. I've been on there for years, and we talk about a little bit of everything. And, of course, we got one more week tomorrow night. We'll see. Will Alien Earth stick the landing or will it flop? So, I don't know. I'm very interested in seeing that. And, hey, I'm here, there, everywhere, man. Some here, some there, everywhere.
I am so glad that we are done with that show after tomorrow night. Chris,
Also,
yes.
I talk about it 3 days out of the week. You only got 2.
I know.
Wednesday nights, I got to talk about it. Thursday nights with you and Brian. And then Saturday nights with you, Chris, Shifty. And if it wasn't for the fact that Rob wasn't watching, it would be 4 nights. So I'm like, thank you, Lord, that Rob is not watching. He don't want no spoiler.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. So
yes,
I got you.
So Saturday, I'm pretty quiet on Saturday. I'm done talked out.
Yeah. Well, it's almost over, so let's get that done and we out of there. But tomorrow night we will be doing Gen V, guys. So make sure to check that out. But Chris, where can they find you, sir?
Real Review 3000, sometimes on SRYT, of course, here, Chaos Central, here, there, and everywhere. I try to show up where I can and when I can. So thank you for having me as usual, and I'm looking forward to these topics.
Absolutely. And David Quintana just said, Anzo, what is MUC? My bad.
I fixed
MCU.
it. It's over here. I don't know if you're on your channel. I fixed it on Chaos Central.
You fixed it already? Okay, cool. So Chris fixed it because it was supposed to be MCU, not M, but it is what it is. That's why we all partners over here, because we all catch each other's mistakes. Usually I don't make mistakes, but there's first time for everything. First time for everything. But as you guys can see, we got a lot of good topics over here. One thing I will say is, look, this guy. One thing I will say, and talking about, sorry guys, the fantasy, I got rid of a stud and I'm upset about it. The Minnesota running back, I had him, I dropped him, and I was gonna pick him up, and I didn't because he had a bad week. And then Roberto picked him up, and then he did good. So hopefully,
Roberto always does that, man. You drop somebody,
yeah, he's always sniping your guys.
He is the fantasy football
sniper
buzzard.
Facts. You drop
the dead carcass and bring it back to life.
Yep. And it's funny too, because we drop them because they didn't do good, and then he gets them and they do good. So go figure. But yeah, Chris fixed it as well. And you know what? I know I have the order there, but I think we're going to talk about that first because I like the other kind of topics a little bit later. So we're going to talk about the Jimmy Kimmel stuff first. And I just wanted to ask you guys your thoughts on it because they, so, and I see a lot of posts going around now saying, oh, you see, it wasn't Trump and it wasn't this. But when Jimmy Kimmel first got, they said indefinitely. They were like, Jimmy Kimmel's show is gone indefinitely. Then what happened? People went outside of Disney and protested, and now all of a sudden his show is back. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, people, you don't see the correlation? This is why he got it back because people were boycotting, they were dropping Disney Plus and all of that stuff. So I don't know. Go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say, I mean, that's definitely a portion of it, but also I think he's in his first year of a 5-year contract, and I don't know. I'd have to go look and see what that contract is. I'm telling you, at this point, it's one of two things: you pay him off, or you let him sit at home and do nothing for the money. And if that's the case, I might as well bring him back. I mean, I call bullshit on a lot of this. I definitely think Trump and the FCC was behind it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we already know that he pretty much torched Colbert's show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and Colbert's #1 in the ratings, and he just won an Emmy. I mean, if that tells you anything, it's like all the stuff they're saying about these shows is totally wrong. People still want to see late night television. Are they mostly liberal? Absolutely. I'll be honest with you. I know they are, but it's all fun and game. People make jokes and people talk. I mean, this was ridiculous. And I just never saw, I didn't think it would take that long. So,
Dan, okay, go ahead.
No, fine.
Danny, your thoughts? And then I got a question for you guys because it's something we kind of touched on the OOC. So I want to kind of get you guys' thoughts on it first. But go ahead, Danny. What's your thoughts first?
I think it's really crazy because what he said, I've heard a whole lot worse.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to go at somebody, Saturday Night Live, they take no prisoners.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen them go toe deep. I see them go, you know what, deep, testicle deep.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see what he did. I don't think it warrants him losing his job and stuff. And it's kind of a slippery slope when the White House gets involved with First Amendment, Second Amendment rights, trying to steer them one way or whatever way that pleases them. And I know this is a touchy subject, especially for Chris, but I got to bring it back up. Didn't our president have something to do with the Colin Kaepernick situation? He was telling the owners that, look, if they kneel, I get rid of them and all that kind of stuff. Wasn't that kicking around at some point?
He was. Yes, he was.
I remember that distinctly. Like, look, the president should not be involved in NFL stuff, NBA stuff, comedy stuff. Comedians should be the one group of people, in my opinion, that kind of get a pass because,
Agreed.
especially the ones that have been there and established. Maybe if you're a newcomer or something, but if your brand of comedy covers all spectrums, all races, sex, creed, and you've been doing that for years, and you can show documentation you've been doing that. Now, you got to have tapes of what you're doing. I wouldn't be doing nothing like neck stuff and that kind of stuff. But saying kind of jokes that kind of infer that somebody else may have gained from this or something, I don't see a problem with that. And I'm going to say this for the record. I did not agree with all the things that Mr. Kirk said, but whatever he said does not warrant someone taking his life.
No,
I don't care. Even if he got on TV, had a shirt that said trigger, had a hat that said trigger, had a bandana that said trigger, and every other word he said was trigger, 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 it don't warrant him getting killed. Now, if you're going to get his butt kicked, something like that, okay, that's a consequence. But death should not be a consequence, in my opinion. And my heart goes out to his kids and his wife. I don't know. Those three people it goes out to. His family and stuff. I mean, I empathize, but not really those kids more so if I'm being really honest. But there's a saying that if you get a freedom of speech or freedom of consequences. I think the consequences that he was dealt was too severe. But this thing about firing Jimmy Kimmel or taking him off the air is crazy. To me, that's crazy. Maybe he should be sanctioned or a fine or something. But if they
Even
wouldn't,
then,
if they would not, I'm finished up real quick. Even if
yeah.
Disney Plus hadn't done what they done, I mean, if the people and the fans hadn't done what they done, Jimmy Kimmel would have still been at home. So I mean, it's crazy. In my opinion.
Here's the thing. I saw, we're on Twitter, all these other places where we see the words put out there and stuff. A lot of people were comparing this to the Roseanne Barr thing, and I want to, within reason, go through what she said in 2018. She tweeted a tweet stating that if the Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby, it would be what was her name? Jarrett. Valerie Jarrett. Okay, that's what they said. Well, I'm sorry, you're bringing race into it. That's a racist statement. That's why she was fired. Okay, let's just be honest with everybody. That was a racist statement. If you look at what Jimmy Kimmel said, he said his prayers and his thoughts went to his family. He said it was not the right thing, that he did not deserve that. He said all that. And then he said, many in MAGA land are working very hard to capitalize on the murder of Charlie Kirk, and that the MAGA gang was desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them. Now, I'm sorry, that's a statement of opinion. Whether or not it's fact or not, it's a statement of opinion. It does not bother anybody for their race, their creed, their religion, anything. And yet people are trying to attach these two things together. And it's ridiculous and then Jimmy Kimmel didn't go out and say anything to apologize or make up a reason for why he said it. He let it sit and be what it was. Roseanne Barr within 24 hours was blaming Ambien for her statement. And so I don't know how you put these two things together, but the thing is his job is political commentary. And with a twist sometimes of comedy. And he was not being comedic when he said it, by no means, but he's allowed to have those thoughts. And if you take that away, you are taking away your freedom of speech. The freedom of speech is allowed as long as you do not infringe on another person's rights. Whose rights did he infringe on? And I'm sorry, if you're the president, you need to have thicker skin than just letting somebody get under your skin. And I can only imagine what the White House was like today as soon as this announcement came out. Now, there were 30 some odd channels up in New York area or Boston area or something like that. And I don't know how many it is across the United States. It's Nexstar who owns them. I know there's one or two in town here, or all three of our local broadcasts may be owned by Nexstar. I don't know. But they pulled and said they weren't going to do it first. And then Disney followed. So I'm wondering if they're going to still stand by that, because Nexstar can do whatever they want. They can pull the programming, I think, if they want. But I just think this whole thing was stupid. And again, if you can't take somebody's opinion of you, I don't know what Trump wants. If Trump thinks that everybody's going to love him or everybody should love him, no president in this world, even JFK, which to many people believe that he was one of the best, if not the best president, which I don't necessarily think that's true, but Abraham Lincoln, even, nobody liked them. I mean, nobody liked them 100%. People don't like the president. There's always going to be people like that. And the fact that he took this as a slight, boy, I wonder what he would do if he knew what everybody said in their own houses about him. Not everybody, but people who don't like him.
You said, what does he want? And I think there's a clip of him saying what he wants, right? He literally said he wants his people to stand up and, pretty much like they do in China, to salute him and stand up and salute him like he's a communist president, which is
Wow.
where I come into the question where I'm asking you guys, right? So, and first off, let me get to one of the comments here. So, J. Rob, you definitely need to go and research some of the stuff that Charlie Kirk has said, right? And then you can understand where we're coming from
What
that
up,
one,
Mike?
right? Danny is absolutely correct, and Chris is absolutely correct when they say no one deserves to die like that. Absolutely 100%. But I don't feel sorry for anybody because he never felt sorry for us, right? He didn't feel sorry for George Floyd. He didn't feel sorry for Breonna Taylor. He villainized them, right? He said that George Floyd didn't die from the cop. He said George Floyd died from fentanyl. They said something about Breonna Taylor. If you sleep with dogs, that's what happens, right? Black women don't have the mind power, or he said two of them, anyways, didn't have the mind power to be into office. Kamala Harris and the other one there, right? Said that if a black pilot was flying a plane, he would have to question if they were qualified enough to do it. So there's a lot of those things that he said. So for me, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna feel sorry for him, but again, at the same time, I don't think anybody deserves to die like that.
Hold on. Did you? Oh, go ahead. Finish. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Did you hear? Hold on. I'm looking this up. So the day before he died, Charlie Kirk, and I'm trying to remember who it was. I have to find it here, but supposedly,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Danny.
Supposedly, there's somebody he didn't get along. Yeah, so Charlie Kirk DM'd. I'm looking this up here. Who it was? Van Jones. He's a CNN guy or a writer on CNN, and Charlie Kirk DM'd him, and here's what he said. Let's see here. Hey Van, I mean it. I'd love to have you on my show to have a respectful conversation about crime and race. I would be a gentleman, as I know you would be as well. We can disagree about the issues agreeably. So I totally agree with as I've been going into this. I didn't really care or know who the hell Charlie Kirk really was. I just knew he existed. But I've been reading up on it. I know that his racial comments are very divisive and borderline racist. But at least he was trying to reach out also, but he got this DM after they found out he was dead. He didn't see it before that. So it's kind of interesting. I mean, too little too late, some people might say, because he's trying to say, let's cool down this temperature.
But you see, here's the thing. That's not. You see, I don't think that's what Charlie Kirk was doing. I think Charlie Kirk likes to have conversations with people who aren't as intelligent as him, right? So he can actually, right, to have conversations. Sometimes he gets smoked, but a lot of times that's why he goes on college campuses, right? Because he know he can spew out these faxes, and a lot of them won't know the details or have debating talking points against him. So.
I also think that looking back at a lot of stuff that was posted from these chats and stuff where he sits underneath the tent and he was answering questions where they come up and they talk at the mic. I really think a lot of his stuff was pre-programmed and canned. Like they fed these people questions a month ahead of time. Said, memorize this.
Yeah, it's possible.
It just. I mean, and again, that's his right to do that, especially with a political agenda. But still, it's
Rob. There is no such thing as black fatigue. Oh, he said I'm trolling. Okay, I was about to go off, brother. I was about to go off.
He said, he said I am not
trolling. Okay, so there is no such thing as black fatigue. Black fatigue is something that the white people then made up because they're tired of black people, racist white people, not all. The racist one. So then why don't we have white fatigue, right? We could have white fatigue. If they can have black fatigue, we can have white fatigue, right? We could be tired of their racist and bullshit and all the way they talk about us and their per capita black people cause the most crimes and all of that, which if you actually go and Google it, that's not the case. So,
well, yeah, I mean, again, you said it. Anybody can have whatever they want. It's a free country.
No, there is not. There is not.
but
There is not.
there's a way to go about it. I just started digging into some of his stuff because, again, it's near a cult. It literally, a lot of the
100%.
MAGA people is a cult, and it's like, folks, we don't have a king for a reason. We don't have people who require this type of
Devotion.
devotion. You know, a president understands. A president understands. You don't like me, fine, but I'm still your president. I want to help you. I want to do the best for everybody. This guy, no, he doesn't give a crap. He wants to do what he wants to do for him, and if it helps somebody else, okay, I guess that helps him. But I mean, it's been ridiculous, and we're not even a full year in. We are still only 8 months into this, folks. 8 months.
So here's a question he said, so ghetto, annoying, loud black people. Are you really saying that? What about trailer park broke, loud white people? Like, what are you talking about, bro? Are you
We
serious?
both got them. We got annoying, loud people on both sides.
Are you
I totally agree with
serious
you.
with this? You got to be joking, bro. You got to be joking because whatever you want to say, there's people like that on either side. So sitting there saying ghetto ass, what about trailer park white people? You know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about here? You see, this is the shit that, they spew, and certain black people like you fall for. You're falling for the bullshit. You're falling for the okey doke. Don't fall for it, bro. Come back to the side. Come back.
Don't let that guy mess with you, bro. He
Come
got
back.
he got a black avatar, but he might be white, so I ain't following him up.
Yeah, you right. You right. You right. He might be black. He might be white. He might be black. He might be white. So my next question that I was gonna ask, because yeah, you're right. Let me ignore that. You guys think censorship and freedom of speech is in jeopardy? And if you do, doesn't that kind of remind you of some communist countries?
Did you watch my short I did last week?
No, I didn't. I must have missed it.
I said there are two kind of ships that are now sailing on American shores that I thought would never be there. The first ship is censorship. And in the horizon, I'm looking at dictatorship. It's heading this way. I can see dictatorship on the flag, on the sail. And I never thought I would see those two boats anywhere in our vicinity. But if they let this thing go out with Jimmy Kimmel and they keep going, you got to stop it right now. In the words of Barney Fife, you got to nip it in the bud. If you don't nip this in the bud right now, and these laws start getting changed and certain things, right now, the people are liking it because it's suiting their wants and needs. But guess what? When it doesn't suit their wants and needs, laws are going to be in place. And it's going to be too late. And the monster that they're creating is going to be too strong. And then all this chaos and crazy laws changing and putting people in power. Because you got to remember now, he's putting these judges, some of these people in that are going to be in place for years. Not a term like him, but lifetime. Let that sink in. A lifetime terms until a certain age. So if I'm not mistaken, the Supreme Court judges are there for a lifetime. So you can imagine if somebody in their 50s and the average person is living 75, still got their faculties. So 20 years of this craziness. So you got to be careful, man. And also, we worrying about the federal and the national elections. You better start worrying about the elections at your home, at your house.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you start getting all these blue to red or vice versa, whatever the case may be, it could be trouble.
Agreed.
See, you say that this suits certain people's the people's needs or whatever. It's a small. When I say a small majority, I'm saying 30 to 40% of the country.
I think it's more than that, Chris. I think this is what I really think, and I could be wrong. I think some of these people, public enemies, said it best. You can't tell what the KK is now because now they wear 3-piece suits.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they're lying dormant like a disease. And now the medicine that's releasing them is at the White House. Some of these people,
Yeah.
not all of them. And now they got that freedom and they see what they can do. And that the leader of the free world, the most powerful man in the United States, is saying this and he's calling people names and he's doing this. Oh, man. Some people, I'm not saying all, but some people on the other side of the line and probably on this side of the line too is liking that because now they get a license to say what they really want to say in their hearts. They might be able to think twice about saying the trigger, or they're gonna say it now. Or they won't think twice about this. They get from behind them keyboards, man. They kind of getting up in people's face. And I'm telling you, man, it looks like to me there is some mechanism that is trying to create a civil disturbance, a civil war in the United States. And if we don't get a hold of it, there's gonna be a line drown down this whole globe.
Danny, Roberto keeps talking about it all the time where he says the Civil War is coming. And then if you see the people in Chicago fighting back against ICE, oh yeah, they ain't playing over there.
I don't think that's going to happen because it's not the same. It's not the same landscape because again, back then you had two different parts of the world that had two different parts of the United States that had their own armies. It's one army now, and that's under one person right now. And if you think that they are going to get enough of an uprising, I don't think that's going to happen. I could be wrong. I'm not going to say it. It's crazy times.
I'm not talking about like in the army sense of the word. I'm talking about like in the street.
The
sense
people
of the
revolted.
Well, if anything, what it is it's the race wars again. It's going back to that. Mean. Okay, then if you're saying that, I hear Civil War. I think literally Civil War.
Okay, and the Civil War wasn't the northern part of the country, which was American, against the southern part of the country, which was American. So you are a white American, I'm an Afro-American. If we're under the same flag, but we got two totally different philosophies, and because I'm on this side of the fence, you're on this side of the fence, in a sense, that is a civil war because we are all Americans. That's what I'm saying. But you can put a more encapsulated word, and it's race war. That's what
I feel that's closer to what it is, and that's my opinion on how I view things. But it amazes me because people talk about how big these people are. 200,000 people, give or take, showed up for the Charlie Kirk Memorial. I think that's people who will travel across the United States. If it's only 200,000 people, I don't think it's that big. Now, Trump wants you to believe it's that big.
That's not big.
No, I didn't say that. This is the people who are of the cult who will follow them anywhere and whatever they say, because that's, look, our God is telling us to do something. And that's where I really think, I'm sure it's more than just 200,000 people, but it's not near.
Are you Myron Gaines in disguise? Right? Are you the guy from Fresh and Fit? Because I know Danny like Marlon Gaines from Fresh and Fit. Are you that guy? Because you sound like him. Go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
I had my train. I had a question. And I forgot it that fast. Got to revert.
But I mean, I think this is a loud minority because they're emboldened, much like Danny said, they're emboldened by the person in charge, the president, and just like I think that the January 6th and a lot of things were done like that.
The rapture will take care of these people tomorrow.
I mean, I've started seeing people with signs in town here. I mean, I always saw it like out in Vegas, but here, starting to see it again where people on the corner holding signs, follow Jesus, the rapture is near. I don't know. I mean, that stuff's been being said for hundreds of years. People have said that. We've been through stuff like this before. It's just,
what's funny?
Where will it go? Where will it go?
The rapture is nowhere in the Bible, that word.
No, I understand that. I'm just stating
I'm just making it.
Yeah.
Because we all thought about that. Yeah. It's nowhere in the Bible. That word is nowhere in the Bible.
people use words to suit their own purposes and their own wants and their own, directions. And unfortunately, you got a lot of people right now that are trying to make a lot of noise. And unfortunately, they have somebody at the top of it that can make that noise a lot louder. That's where the problem lies. But that's where we're at.
So I kind of, go ahead, Danny.
In the words of Childish Gambino, you better stay woke. That's all I gotta say.
And I'll say this: I understand. Like, so when we say civil war, I know what you mean. So when you're thinking that we saying civil war, but we're just.
Oh boy, he snapped himself out of existence. Come back, Hanzo. I snap you back. Maybe that was MAGA.
There you go.
There you go. I say when we say civil war, I'm thinking like civil war as the people uprising against the government, right? Then you're gonna have the government now who is basically racist because of who's in charge, right? So that's why it's gonna be considered a civil kind of race war kind of thing. Because if it keeps going the way it's going, it seems like, and this is from the outside looking in as a Canadian, seems like communism is just around the corner for you guys, man.
Well, it's funny is that you have the right who is constantly telling the left that they're communistic, yet we're seeing more and more things. Maybe not communistic, but definitely closer to fascism again.
Yes.
And that in turn, while we aligned with a communistic or soon to be communistic country of Russia in World War II and in World War I, we didn't stick around long to be buddies with them because we knew what their ideology was. There's a reason why we don't put people like Trump in office. There's a reason why Marjorie Taylor Greene and those people don't belong in office. They are not politicians. They do not understand the give and take of politics. They do not understand that just because you say it should be done or do it now, that it's going to be done. Because Trump just fired a prosecutor for one of the busiest United States prosecution offices in the country in New Jersey, because his office spent 6 months trying to find proof that the federal chair or the one of the people with the people the feds that changed our rates, they tried to fire her and say that she should be tried for mortgage fraud. They spent 6 months trying to find something about this. They came out and said, no, we can't find anything. He fires the guy for telling him that, even though it's the guy he put in there 6 months ago. Mm-hmm. And he comes out and says, hey, I can't find anything. And he doesn't like it. So what he's going to do, he's going to put somebody in. He put a person that was his own personal lawyer in there who has no experience in being a prosecutor in there. And the more inexperienced people you have, the less the system, as bad or as good as it is, the less that system will work.
You're right, because even with the FBI director, this guy had no reason to be there. Yeah, we can hear you, Danny. You're good.
Yeah.
So, and last question that I have, and a lot of this is the OOC stuff. So this is a topic that I definitely have for the OOC, but I just want to get you guys real quick before we go, because there's two things. One, a lot of people are saying now, and I know this is just rumors, so guys, it's just rumors, that Israel, Netanyahu, had something to do with what happened to Charlie Kirk. And then I seen he has an interview where he's talking about how Russia is now like becoming one of his biggest enemies right now. So do you
Charlie
guys
Kirk?
No, that's Netanyahu, Israel. So
they're
Israel
saying
calling
that they
out
believe
Russia, I think he said North Korea, something like that. And he's like, oh, well, they're doing these things to like, go against going against Israel and stuff like that. And seems like he's trying to bring it to Russia and them now.
If you sit down and read the book Revelations, it will tell you a lot of this stuff that seems to correlate and very parallel to what's going on with the world now.
Mm-hmm.
But some people, for whatever reason, are afraid to read it, don't want to read it, don't believe it, whatever the case may be. But just to inject a little bit of biblical information in here. I believe, and I'm a believer, and if you're a believer, I believe that God puts people in these places to try and teach non-believers and believers both certain lessons. If you read the book of Judges, there was all kind of judges in the Bible, good judges, bad judges, whatever the case may be. And then finally, God allowed a king, but he didn't allow a good king. He allowed a bad king, King Saul, to be the king. But what he was doing, he was setting up for the good king to come, which was David. So maybe if you use this metaphorically speaking, Trump may be Saul for all we know. And this next president that I hope will be David, even though David was weak, he slept with Bathsheba and all that good stuff. But for the most part, David was a very good king, very strong king. He had his faults, but for the most part, he was favored and chosen by God. So a lot of these people, some people talk about, well, they hate Trump and this, da, 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 da. I don't hate the man. I think he does some silly stuff. Is my lifestyle really affected one way or the other with him in office? Not really. Since I've been an adult, there is no president I've sit under that my lifestyle has really went really south or really north.
Agreed.
Now, I will say I had more money when Clint was in office. But other than like, oh man, I'm counting pennies and stuff, I really haven't been there yet.
And you know what's funny too, and let me just say this too, and I think a lot of people do that too. It's like, oh, because I remember a few people saying, oh, when Trump was in office too, I had more money than I did. And I'm like, is it really because of the person in office, or is it just because things were good, right? You know what I mean? Inflation was down, wasn't as high, right? Because remember, and I keep saying this all the time, like the world we live in now, all of this is because of the bug. It's all because of the bug. The bug changed everything. And we will never go back to where we were before the bug. It changed everything. The prices of everything skyrocketed. Everything went up. You know what I mean? So,
and prices don't go down. Once the people who set the prices set those prices, and you start paying them, why would they ever stop?
100%.
There's a couple things that'll go down. But not for the most part.
Well, but I mean,
like gas goes down.
But nobody here in the States actually controls that. That's the thing. It's controlled by a conglomerate of people who determine
interest rates go down too.
Yeah,
that's what I'm ready to see because it's crazy now. I bought my house 4 years ago, and my interest rate was 3.1. You can't find that now. Not with a microscope.
7 is normally the introductory.
Not with a telescope. Not with a stethoscope, you ain't finding that pulse, you ain't finding that enzyme, you're not finding that. So I'm lucky because of that. But this president, I can definitely see a price, and I don't know whether it's in correlation with him, but I can see a difference in the grocery store. That's the only place I can really see a difference. Grocery store, restaurants, that kind of stuff. But
well, they said over here that the restaurant business is dying. A lot of people are doing takeout more than anything now, right? It's like because it's more convenient to do the takeout, but because the restaurants aren't getting the money on the alcohol and the cakes and stuff like that, it's hurting their businesses. You know
what's hurting restaurants too? Customer service.
Yeah, 100%.
Customer service, you get this crap because if I go in there and this is just me now, and I apologize, but if I got my drink and I can hear it and I'm shaking the glass and stuff, that's hurting your tip. And the longer I wait there without you refilling it, it's hurting your tip. Now my
100%.
daughter, she's in the restaurant business. She said, Danny, you can't, if it's a bad meal, you can't punish the waiter or waitress for that.
Yeah.
You talk to the manager.
I get that, but I can punish you if my drink ain't filled. I can punish you if my doggone utensils aren't clean. I can punish you if I ask you for something and you got your butt on your shoulders. Yes.
100%. I agree. Tourism is bad too, I hear. Yeah, there's a lot of things, man.
There's and honestly, here's the thing. The Republicans, what if you want to call them Republicans, a large percentage of them are no longer Republicans. And all the Republicans that have been there for a while are leaving because they're like, this is not the Republican Party. And here's the thing.
What does Mike talking about?
Y'all are bugging. The air is cleaner because of Trumpito. The water is wetter because of Trumpito. Stop hating. Oh wow. You see, Mike, you never seem to amaze me. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm like, Mike is on point, and then you say some bull crap like this. I know you're trolling though.
But the Republicans know that they're in trouble. Trump's camp knows that they're in trouble because they're trying to push through the redrawing of maps in the middle of the census cycle. And typically those maps are drawn based off of population, and that population is determined every 10 years. So if population becomes more dense in one spot, they might have to move that line. They're rewriting it all over the country right now, or trying to, because they know they're trying to get rural voters to vote in the same regions as city voters.
Mm-hmm.
And splitting up cities. Like here, we have a guy, Emmanuel Cleaver, who's been in forever. Liberal as all can be, Democrat through and through. And his district is now split into 3 different districts. One of those goes east about, I don't know, about 200 or 150 miles outside of Kansas City, 200 miles, something like that. And then south like 300 miles. Into rural county. What they're trying to do is find voters who won't vote for him. And Danny said it best. You need to be looking at your local vote and your representatives, and look at what's happening, because you need to fight this. And that means if you know people next to you who say my vote doesn't count, say, listen, it absolutely does count, and you have to go fight for your right to have the right people in to represent you. And when I say that, Emmanuel Cleaver is my representative here. I believe, I'd have to double check, but I do believe it. A black man, great guy, met him personally. He has a lot of my same values, but they're trying to bring people in that are Trump voters to oust him. They know that if they don't do this, there's a good chance that both the Senate and the House could flip. And if that happens, they know he's going to get ousted. They're going to impeach him. They're going to find a reason to do it. So they're trying now to scramble 8 months in, because that's again 8 months. It has taken this group of people to realize in 8 months, this guy's off his rocker and we can't keep it if he loses something. And they're already trying to save the castle from the fire 8 months in.
How can you add stuff as a lot?
What?
How can you what?
How can you add stuff if the thing's a lot? I'm sorry, Chris.
What are you talking about?
You just added something on your team, Anzo.
Oh, you can add it, but it won't go through until next week.
Yeah.
You can add people. It can't go through until next week.
Yeah. Said.
What?
They said.
Didn't they already impeach him 2, 3? No. Okay. No, I mean full impeach. See, yes, but Clinton was impeached too, because there was a Republican side. It was either the House or whatever. One side is fine, and you can get impeached by the one side, but then the Senate has to vote on it and say, yes, let's impeach him. And that hasn't happened and never will, probably. But if both sides flip, that's why they're trying to change all this supermajority. We have to have more. You have to have more votes for this. You have to have more votes for that. They're trying to change all the rules because they see that they are fundamentally in a big danger. And what it's going to take, if they get all these things through, and it does stay red, or it goes more red, what it's going to take is these people who are his cronies and the people who kiss his ass to realize how nuts this guy is, and that it's their jobs at stake. And unfortunately, we keep adding more and more people who feed his egotism. And again, this goes back to the thing. We have to have real people who know what politics are about, crooked or not. I'm not trying to call politicians not crooked, but the people you're putting in now are like putting a freaking somebody who grabs the garbage, like putting them in charge of a bank. What the fuck do they know about it? They don't. It's a job for a reason. A politician is a job, not a thing. It's a job. And those people have that job because they understand that job.
All right, guys. Great topic. Appreciate it. We are going to move on. Sorry about that, guys. I know it was OOC topic.
It happens.
But it does happen sometimes. And I think it's more about, censorship, which is a pop culture thing as well, So, but it was great to have that topic. But we are going to get into something that I think the Mandem will like. I know you guys know it. You've seen it. It dropped already. It is the trailer for Mando and Grogu. We're going to play it, and I am going to get the reaction to these guys. You thought it was what?
The Batman too.
You know that stuff don't get no play on Chaos Central, bro. That's not happening. We
Maybe
are
not your show, but if it comes
not on
out
his
there,
show, not on his show, but Danny and I will talk about it.
I don't know. We're gonna have to find a way to give me access so that I can block you guys from talking about that. You know what I mean? Because that we don't. And yo, man, you're just trying to trigger me. Let's watch the trailer. Because just so you know, the Anaconda movie is going to be better than the Batman 2. Let's just say that.
I don't know what you smoking, but you better stop it. You get a different ship this year.
No, it's the same
it looks
one.
like the original one.
It's a Razor Crest. Maybe you got it fixed.
No, that's a different version of the Boot Fighter.
No, that's what he was supposed to be flying.
I'm saying he got a different Naboo fighter.
Sigourney Weaver?
Yep.
Ooh.
I'm interested in seeing what she's gonna do.
Yeah, it's the same ship.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell?
No.
Impressive.
Clone ship was there. Ooh.
The
18. That's kind of cool.
Good shot, baby.
All right, so what are you guys' thoughts?
More cartoon than Star Wars. See that he had a Naboo fighter last season.
Mm-hmm. It looks like a mix. Maybe he found it. Maybe he mixed two.
He modified that.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's wider.
Yep. It's wider.
It's deeper. It looks like it has the
Razor Crest it carried multiple people. The Naboo fighter that he had, the special edition only had carry him and Grogu. So that right there is modified. It's not the same Naboo fighter.
No, I don't know.
Batman. Boring. Exactly, Tony. You were on point, brother.
If I could reach through space and time and snap your neck right now, I would do it.
Weaver is basically filming in for both Carl Weathers and Carl Santiva as his mission giver, but she's the New Republic pilot, and this is basically a mishmash of ideas they had for the Ranger show.
Okay. Well, you see, that's the problem then. If they throw that stuff in, it's going to feel more like just a long episode of Mandalorian. And we were talking about that on the Alien Roundtable over on Austinator's thing, that sometimes these shows or these movies that are based off of shows lose track, and vice versa for movies that are mostly or themes that are mostly movies that go and do TV shows like Star Wars. They lose track on what they're doing. They're like, oh wait, I'm going to go do a movie about this, and then they still do something that's very much just like a long episode. and movies that go to TV can't figure out how to splice it up or how to keep it all together because it's longer now. And so I hope that doesn't happen with this. It looks good, but then again, they're only showing us all the glitz and glamour.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I will go see this because it's a Star Wars movie, and
I'm going.
I've been waiting for another one. Yeah,
I'll be there first night too. But Danny, what were your thoughts of it?
I didn't like the way it had that Grogu and
I don't like the look of it.
It doesn't look. It doesn't look Star Warsy to me.
Yeah, I agree.
It'd be like the Mandalorian something adventure or the fight for something, the search for something, or the last something, or the first something. It should have a more title that grabs at you. This right here, while I'm interested because it's Star Wars and because I'm a Star Wars fan, it's nothing I'm really excited about. I want to see more. The most exciting thing I was excited about was he kicking the guy in the chest just now. I'm like, he almost kicked him to the wall. But that was about it. That was about it.
I don't like the title card. The title card definitely should be changed.
Me neither.
I mean, I think honestly, again, I understand Grogu is a big part of this, but just call it Star Wars, The Mandalorian.
There's something like that. And we don't need all this comedy in Star Wars. One or two jokes with Grogu, but all this stuff like well done or good shot or whatever.
And it has to be timed right. Again, the original Star Wars, it had comedy in it. Laugh it up, furball, things like that. You know, it came in, but it felt natural and timed correctly. It does seem like the longer they go, the more they just throw it in there. You know, like the whole
boy Jackson put up. You go this doggone cape now, boy.
Yeah. Like you know, when they did they fly now. It's like, okay, I get your point, what you're trying to say, but
yeah, no, I agree with you. I think I'm like that. I think the trailer looks okay, but my son kind of said it to me the other day or today when I sent to him. He's like, it looks like it's gonna be one long side mission. You know what I mean? And I'm like, if they do it like that, then yeah, I'm gonna have an issue with it. But I didn't hate it. I'll say that. I don't
hate it. But I'm gonna tell you a prime example. When I saw the last Skywalker? What was it?
Rise of
Skywalker. When she was running on that salt field and you saw the lightsaber and she jumped and she chopped that doggone X-Wing or whatever it was, TIE fighter. I was like, man, that's right here gonna be fire. I didn't get none of that in there. I didn't get none. And to me, Star Wars is synonymous with Jedi, Sith, lightsabers. We got to get some of that. If we don't get some of that, I'm not saying it's not going to be good, but you got the ingredients to make a fantastic cake.
Thank you, Danny.
The ingredients that mess up the cake. I'm not saying the cake can't be good, but man, I want to see lightsabers. I want to see Revenge of the Sith level fighting. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see.
You see, and you know what, Danny? This is why we're boys, bro. Because I agree with you 100%. Listen, I get people may want to see this other universe with, the underground and scavengers and Andor and all that kind of crap. I get that. Hold on, Chris. Let me finish.
Okay.
I get that people may want to see that. But Star Wars is and always has been about Jedi, Sith, space battles. That's it. I don't need Andor crap.
And one quick before Chris say, I don't mind seeing that on Disney Plus.
There you go.
I don't want to go to the theater and pay my hard-earned money.
I'll give you that.
I go to the theater. I totally agree with you on Star Wars. Give me a Mace Windu movie. Obi-Wan should have been a movie.
Yes.
These things should have been movies, and they were first talked about it. This was going to be the Boba Fett movie originally, and then they kind of lose that idea, or Disney gets in there and says we're going to do our own thing now, and it's like, those things would work but you got to let it go and go. But yeah, I mean, and I totally agree. Andor, as much as I love that show, and I know you guys don't, as much as I love that show, it would never work as a movie.
No, don't want to go to
Rogue
DC.
One worked, but that's about as far as you can go in that. And they still had Darth Vader. And the reason why you had as much Darth Vader as you had is because they realized they needed him.
The reason why Rogue One worked for me was the last 3 minutes of it, because I got to see Darth Vader go through them like a hot butter.
And
like
if they don't have that last 5 minutes, Danny, you like that movie?
It really, some parts of it.
So first off,
for the most part, it's snooze fest, just like they did Orlando. What's his name?
Han Solo.
Han Solo.
Oh,
garbage. Did not like that movie. The best part of it at the end when I saw Darth Maul, I was excited to see that.
Here you go, Danny. This one's for you. Revenge of the Sith had terrible lightsaber fighting. It was soulless, amusing part rides. Acolyte Episode 5 ran circles around those fights.
I don't respond to clowns.
Because you were 100% out of your mind.
While I
go to
agree with Onzo,
I don't respond. That's a clown comment there.
Well, I will agree with Onzo that Empire Strikes Back is the best of the Star Wars films.
Yes.
I will agree with Danny that the best lightsaber battle in Star Wars
Revenge of the Sith.
Exactly. It's don't get me wrong with this, but you're absolutely right, Danny. And again, that's what George Lucas wanted to do. He knew he could get away with a lot of that stuff. Now, he put time and effort into every one of those battles they had because he wanted that originally. He just had no way to do it. He couldn't comp his face in. He couldn't do any of that stuff. And so that's what we got. And I love it for that.
George Lucas, when it comes to Star Wars, it was kind of like Anthony Stark when he discovered that stuff, but he couldn't do nothing with it because the technology hadn't caught up with it. You remember when he told his son Tony, he said, "Look, you're gonna figure this out because right now the technology to figure it out doesn't exist." So as George Lucas made Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, what's the other one? Star Wars,
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the
Jedi. He didn't have the technology that he needed. If you go back and watch it, fight scenes are much slower. Fight scenes just they were okay back then because that's all we had. But when you fast forward to see them at the height of their powers, and when we even see the fan made version of when Vader fighting Obi-Wan on the Death Star, if they'd had that speed, that pace, that kind of intensity back then, oh my God!
I would love that group to redo the lightsaber battle in Empire and in Return of the Jedi, because I would go through, take the digital copies I have, cut out those scenes, and throw those scenes in. I still want to do it with Star Wars because I'm dude, put that in there. It's like,
let me ask y'all to this: what scene or what scene in Empire Strikes Back gave you that, oh boy, it's about to get crazy scene when we see Darth Maul, that door open, he ignites the sabers and you hear the music. Dun, dun.
When Luke goes into the triangle outcropping building and he's walking through and Vader's there somewhere, and then Vader just comes out and goes like, that gave me the same feel. I'm just going to be honest with you.
100%. Where he's hiding, right? Like Luke is like creeping
he's there.
Yeah.
And he said, like, your feelings betray you. Oh
no. After that too, but no, after the first set of fight, right? Because if you break down the Return of the Jedi fight, Empire Strikes Back, they kind of had like 3. So they had the one where they were first started off in, and then after that they get to the second part where he's throwing the shit at Luke, right? And then
he's missing it.
Right, he's missing it.
Which you may not get this, Danny, but the whole point of that, if you listen to Lucas talk about that scene, is what he's trying to do is you're supposed to understand that Jedi they're fast. And so what they're trying to show is even though Luke has sensitivity to the Force, he's not as quick as Vader because Vader's throwing it and he's going like after the fact. So it looks kind of wonky because of how they had to do it. but it comes across the same way. And
I
so
like
get
it's
what you're
going
saying. I understand what you're saying, but
right, and
that
then
fight on Mustafar, I
yeah,
ain't never seen nothing like it.
listen, I get
again, you
I
got that
get it,
many
but
years later, and
Even the fight with Yoda and Dooku.
yes, but that's
but
because
here's
of what they had the ability to do. Then
and
if
not
you
just that, the fighting, like they didn't have that kind of fast kung fu fighting back in the 70s, right? They just weren't doing it like that, so
I
it
got
wasn't a popular thing of fighting. But here's the thing I'll say though, right? Because you keep talking about the Revenge of the Sith and it's great, but at one point it gets garbage where they're climbing up the scaffold and the lava's on the bottom and Luke is using his lightsaber. Obi-Wan's losing his lightsaber, he's swiping down. That whole part is just ass. That right there, the minute they start to go up on and climb that scaffold thing, that part I don't like. So there's issues with that fight too. But I think the Empire Strikes Back fight, even though I still think it's the second one. I still the second best. I still think the intensity in that fight and the way Vader's just wiping the floor with Luke, it just makes it great. Makes it great. So I love
I mean,
it.
I'm also glad that in Lucas's infinite wisdom that he, even though he had the ability to try to redo those fight scenes, he let them stand for what they were because they worked for the movies that they were in. And he said, "I'm going to do it over here. I'm going to show people what I could have done."
Man, even the fight scenes on Obi-Wan is better than that.
Yes, but again,
no.
I think there's something.
No.
Man,
I'm sorry. That
when
Obi-Wan and Vader fight was trash.
When Vader was doing them blocks with his hand and stuff, like, what are you
When he was
doing
fighting
all that?
Reva, that was good. That was good.
Yeah.
But that
when
fight,
Vader-
but that fight with Obi-Wan was trash. It was garbage. It was absolute garbage. I hated that fight. And Mike said Yoda Dooku fight was trash. I will concede that the Yoda Palpatine fight was much improved, but that was because of Spielberg. Why? Spielberg has something to do with that fight?
Yeah,
Mike,
Spielberg did it. Spielberg came in and shot some second unit stuff because he was not allowed to be.
I need to put Mike in timeout for about 30 seconds.
So Spielberg did second unit shooting on some of the movies and was not credited doing so because the Directors Guild, because Lucas left and would not put the credits at the beginning like they wanted him to. Spielberg would have been fined if he did that. So Lucas found a way to get him involved. So he has done some second unit.
Yeah, because Lucas isn't part of the guild. I got it.
Yeah.
All right. He said Yoda's lightsaber fights were awful. He should have never used a saber. He should have just been master of telekinesis. They were not awful. They were not awful. I don't care what you listen. In Attack of the Clones, say what you want to, but when Yoda comes out and he does the the Western flips his cape and then the lightsaber flies out, my theater went crazy.
Yes.
I don't know why you guys think this was trash, but my theater went crazy. And then Yoda started jumping around and flipping and fighting. Bro, that was fire. I don't care what anybody
and the
says.
CGI worked
that
for
shit
it
was
too.
Lit. Yeah.
That was the crazy thing, is like the amount of flipping and stuff that it did, and it looked, I won't say ridiculous. It was kind of like, what the hell's going on here? But it was certainly didn't look wrong. It looked like, okay, I get it. I'm going to go with it.
You know how these shows, like I said, Alien Earth make me some episodes cheer for them, and then some episodes I hate them. That is shifty. There's sometimes
100%.
When I right now tonight, you are stinking it up, shifty. I wish you would go to sleep because some of the stuff you saying is crazy.
They're not trash.
And Mike, you can take some of that NyQuil too and go to sleep. Y'all both were, it's messy.
They're not trash.
Stop that cap, Nazo. Ain't nobody capping.
You know what I mean? He said Mexican jumping bean was trash. No, it was not. No, it was not. Yo, Mexican jumping bean, if that's what you want to call it, was fire.
Your generation did not.
Shifty, are
gender
you
is
are you
Shifty.
younger or older than me? Because we the same age. I don't know.
No,
What
they
you're
didn't.
talking
How old are you, Shifty? Yeah, you gotta put your digits up there. How old are you? Put it in
Listen,
the chat.
let me tell you this. My son is 26, and you know what he loves? The prequels.
My kids love the prequels.
Better than the originals. My son loves the
I don't
prequels
know.
better than, and he hates the sequels.
Yes, your son has good sense.
And he hates the
I don't hate the
sequels.
originals, but I like 1 and 3. Attack of the Clones.
See,
But
Attack of the Clones I
Well,
like because that was
me
something
too.
I wanted to see. I wanted to see
I
the
don't
Clone
hate it.
War.
I don't know if
And then
I don't like it better than the other 3.
And then when they gave me the Clone War, the movie that they did before the series, the 2-hour, whatever, 2-hour premiere of the series, whatever it was, and they gave me that, I still had the DVD of that. I bought that first because I was like, hell yes, because I went to the theater to see that. And when I got to see that, and then I got to watch the series, I was like, yes, this is what I want.
Mhm.
And it's like, and then it worked really well into,
Listen.
again, Lucas knew what he was doing, and I admit there is a lot of stuff going on in Star Wars. It doesn't work, but you know it is still Star Wars.
Oh, there's a lot of things in the prequels that don't work. But listen, say what you want to about Attack of the Clones, but when Mace Windu comes out and says this party's over, hold on.
Party's over. Oh yeah.
Hold on. I got it over here. I definitely got it here.
This party's over.
Boy,
You can't
yes!
tell me that wasn't one of the baddest scenes in that movie.
All I want is for
Boy,
one edit of that movie. I want one edit of that movie.
Yeah,
one of the,
this party's over,
prequels.
motherfucker.
I want one of the prequel trilogy. I want him to go and redub all his parts. And yo, motherfucker, you best not be playing. Like,
this part,
you know what they say about Sith? Yeah, where 2 motherfuckers show up.
When I saw that, I was like, "It's about to be you some own, boy."
Special editions were trash before the prequels. Stop it.
Lucas did do stuff that he injected into Star Wars that only allowed Disney to run off and do the wrong things.
Mm-hmm.
It was Lucas that did that, but I think Lucas knew enough to what he was doing that he kind of left some things alone.
Right, and what Lucas wanted to do is, because what you guys don't understand is that was his whole view of Star Wars. He just didn't have the technology to do it, right? So now it doesn't look as jarring when you see Jabba the Hutt in Return of the Jedi, and you're like, who the hell is Jabba the Hutt, right? He should have been in Star Wars. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I just think it was good. Your son has been indoctrinated by Papa Granza Anzo. You failed in raising him right. No, I raised him properly, brother. The big fight in the arena looked like a cosplay convention. What?
My God, what are you doing letting these loons in your fucking chat tonight?
Okay.
Man, you're going against the wrong three-headed monster here.
What
you're
are
going
you
against the
talking
wrong
about?
three-headed monster because nobody here is going to agree with you.
I promise you, buddy. I hope that next Saturday, the dogs of war will be unleashed upon him.
Oh yeah, 100%. Me too. Me too. I hope he comes up with some bull crap about alien Earth, and Chris can't do nothing else but get at his ass for the rest of the show.
Yes,
100%.
Because if it comes in somewhere along the line, I'm going to throw this shit back at him. Go like, listen, you said this.
40 seconds, he goes off the air.
Facts. The only thing I will say is I wish the fight with Django and Mace was a little bit longer, but everything they did, and
Django and Mace.
I mean,
well, you messed me up at first. I thought you were talking about the Django. I was like, what are you talking about?
Django Unchained? I didn't know was he in this movie?
Yeah. I'm thinking, wait, did I say his name wrong? Yeah, no, Django and Mace. I wish that fight would have been longer. And the only thing I don't like is when the big ship hits the ground and then the sand comes up. I hate that scene. I don't think that looks good. But the one scene right? Where Obi-Wan and Anakin are in that ship and Padme gets knocked off. That acting scene in that part of the movie is the best acting scene in that movie. When he's like, "What do you think he would do? What do you think she would do?" Ewan McGregor kills that scene 100%. So
You show me, Shifty, where the fuck it's revisionist history that people didn't like those movies. You're
Facts.
so wrong.
Facts.
I was at the premiere of every one of those. There were kids, there were adults, there were teenagers, and there were just tons. And it wasn't just the first night; it was like the first week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. 100%. That is so not true. And that's the problem, right? A lot of people are saying, "Oh, you know," but yeah, we love the prequels. We did. There were some people that didn't like it. I'll give you that. But most of us did. But it is what it is. Guys, before we get on to this, like a 2-hour show, which we're not going to do, we're going to move on to the next topic. It was 50-50. Tons of people hated the film. Awful. I wouldn't say 50-50, but you're entitled to your opinion.
I know more people will start liking a whole lot better when they saw the doggone sequels.
Yes.
Yes.
They made sense together, at least.
Yep.
There was no sense to be made out of the sequel trilogy.
Absolutely. Not to mention the fact that, again, a lot of people said the movies were better after seeing the sequels too. But I also think that there were a few people that didn't like it. Yeah, but there was people that really liked it. And I think Attack of the Clones is the one that's hated the most. Again, but I think it's underrated. I think Attack of the Clones is really underrated. That scene with Jango Fett where he's hiding behind the ship and goes after Obi-Wan, it's underrated. But that's
when you talking about what's the word he used? I don't use the exact word shit to use. The revisionist history. No, that refers to Rebel Moon.
Fact.
The supposed Star Wars killer. People hate that with a passion.
Absolutely.
They don't hate the prequels with a passion.
Absolutely. Damn, Montgomery just hit a run. All right, guys, and the final topic here now. I don't know if you guys heard it. We talked about it on the Rewind last weekend, but did you guys hear about the MCU erasing the multiverse?
I hope they don't do that.
So pretty much what they're saying, and I'll play the video. It's a long one, but we'll watch some of it. But pretty much what they're saying is Doomsday is going to take place right after Endgame, and everything that we have seen and saw will no longer, it'll have happened, but it will not exist. It'll be a brand new timeline.
Wow.
Well, that's what they've said. They said that Doomsday was going to basically close the multiverse off, and then what we kind of like Crisis on Infinite Earths when it was over. It kind of killed off the different places. That I mean, I don't know. We'll see. But
let's listen to the video and tell you, and you guys can hear what he has to say.
Name's Michael Roman, aka All Fires. Now, say what you will about phases 4, 5, and the beginning of phase 6. The Multiverse Saga has lacked the same sort of luster and excitement that the Infinity Saga ended with by the time we approached Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. But that does not mean, and by any means, that it's a complete throwaway, because some of our favorite Marvel projects, or at least I'll speak for myself, and things like Loki Season 2, Werewolf by Night, Spider-Man No Way Home, have been a part of this phase, and inevitably it has grown the MCU into a very different place, minus some of its key characters, again, from the Infinity Saga. However, if these latest reports now resurfacing are true, corroborating what we reported on earlier in the year, it seems as though everything is going to change and the Multiverse Saga is never going to have existed in the canon at all. We're breaking down this latest report, where it came from, and what it says about the upcoming Avengers Doomsday, the film actually starting in a place that's way before all of the Multiverse Saga even took place. We're breaking it all down, the Multiverse Saga being completely erased by Marvel Studios. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we do daily everyone who's been subbing lately and how pro that you're not seeing the videos, or maybe you've been unsubscribed. Again, I don't know anything about YouTube's algorithm. If you want to keep up with the content, if you want, stick around to the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so this latest report actually surfaced 2 days ago over on comicbooknews.com, referring to something we've been talking about loosely at the channel, where Doomsday is actually taking place. Now, obviously, there was an assumption that we would get flashbacks either in the 616 or in other timelines, wherever Victor Von Doom's original timeline is, be it the 616 or not, to establish his backstory. And with all of the confirmations recently pointing to Steve Rogers' return, at the point that he returned the Infinity Stones in Mjolnir and then spent his life with Peggy Carter, we assumed we may revisit those scenes as well. But it seems like not only are we revisiting those scenes, it's completely changing the future. According to CBN and their sources, Avengers Doomsday is going to pick up right after Avengers Endgame ends. And in that, as the story plays out anew, will completely rewrite the multiverse saga, as in those events never happened, none of those projects ever existed. Now, what this doesn't mean is that those projects weren't canon. They were canon, but that was just the last time we played through the loop that He Who Remains said would inevitably play out time and time again. Loki finally broke that loop. In that context, this makes sense because there is a new story coming, one that will change wherever it picks up in that loop, and apparently will be picking up in Avengers Endgame. But what that also does is sort of lessen all of the stakes, well, if there were any, that they built during the multiverse saga. And I only say that half joking because there were stakes. Look, I like some projects in the multiverse saga in my top 10. Loki season 2 is an absolute masterpiece. Werewolf by Night is one of the best things Marvel Studios has ever put out for what it is. On top of that, Spider-Man.
Let me pause it there real quick. What do you guys think so far?
No, go ahead.
I think it's smart. And the reason why I think it's smart because they've been getting criticized for so long about things not connecting. We got movies that don't make any sense. The last 3 movies that they made were financial flops. So they're going to start from ground zero. And if they get it truly mapped out this second go around, this could be very smart in saying that they can officially recast T'Challa and not have any kind of pushback, because that's one of the main things that the fans want. They could bring back Stark, or they could bring back a younger Stark. They could.
Saying all the stuff you just watched doesn't matter is kind of dumb.
Yeah,
go ahead, Danny.
Talk.
They could bring back a younger Stark. They could bring back a younger Captain America. They could do a whole lot of things now. They could kind of reset, kind of like when you play in the game and you mess up and you hit reset. They could bring back Natasha for all we know. It's a lot of things that they could do if they plan it out right, like they did the first time, and kind of mess up some of the mistakes without getting criticized, without getting burned at the stake. So if they do it right the second time around, and I think the fact that Loki in that time tree, whatever, gives them a lot of leeway, then they could do a lot of good things if they do it right. Now, if they don't do it right and make the same mistakes, then they are definitely going to get burned at the stake. But if they reset all this and do it right, I don't have a problem with it.
All right, Chris?
So this introduces a couple things. One, Disney doesn't apologize for what they've done. So if they do this, again, I'll point straight to Star Wars. If they were willing to do something like this, then they would have done it in the Star Wars Rise of Skywalker and make that something completely different than try to come up with some contrived whatever. They just said, yeah, fuck it, let's just go do it. If they admit this, then that also means that Feige wasn't in charge of this, and they're going back and saying, Feige, okay, take back over. Because we've heard that he's tried to reset or realign things, and it does feel like he's not fully in charge at times. Like Roman says here, at times, Far From Home, Loki season 2, some of these projects are working out. Maybe he has a little more say and they're listening to him. But then at times, Eternals, and some of those types of movies. It just like, you know. So I find it really hard. I do believe that they will find a way to kind of close it up and not, and again, like he says, not say it didn't exist, just say that it wrapped it up. But that's the Crisis on Infinite Earths way of doing it. We're gonna tie off all these little areas and these strings, and some of these people that they want to explore more, like probably the X-Men and possibly the Fantastic Four, will be brought into here. And then, like Danny said, you might get a chance to explore a younger Tony Stark. But this also introduces something that I think Roman talked about one time, which was perhaps Tony Stark in Endgame, when he sees the when he sees the Tesseract stolen, and he may have seen something happen and see that something fundamentally changed Tony Stark, and that's who became Victor Von Doom. That almost would play well into this side of it. I'm not sure, but I don't foresee them just full on acting like it didn't exist. I think we'll get remnants of it, but yes, I do believe they will wrap it up.
Interesting. So listen to what else he had to say, and then we'll get into the rest of it. Hold on.
No Way Home is an all-timer. I really enjoyed Shang-Chi, and I know there have been a lot of misses, like Marvel's worst project in Secret Invasion, and I say that unequivocally because it is just so far behind any other Marvel project, and that's saying a lot. Still, all of these projects were canon in that they were the end of the last part of the loop that it was playing through for He Who Remains. Everything after Loki took a seat at the throne and broke the loom means we were into a new story, and something else may play out along that circle, which for us apparently is going to be in the past. Now look, they said from the very beginning, they being the Russos, that Tony Stark's death would have a huge meaning in the upcoming Avengers Doomsday. So we were always going to harken back to that in some kind of way, or should I say Starken back. Yeah, please don't unsub because I said that. And so all of the logical context with the canon that Marvel Studios has already established with Kang, the Loom, the TVA, Loki, it all follows. There's actually no problems there. It also affords Marvel the huge opportunity of remaking the continuity exactly how they want it, as Kevin Feige teased about having singular timelines reformed, and then went a step further and said Endgame was about the end, quote, Avengers Secret Wars is about new beginnings. And if the Multi-Verse saga has now been left in canon but erased from the continuity, then Marvel Studios has a brand new opportunity to explain backstories and relationships that didn't exist before, as in stuff like, well, the X-Men has always been here, and they do know Sam Wilson's Cap and Iron Man and Shang-Chi, and there is a new Steve Rogers, and there is a new Tony Stark, and all of this stuff just played out completely differently than what we saw before. Again, not erased from the canon. It still happened, just erased from the continuity line going forward after Avengers Secret Wars. Huge distinction. And again, after we were sort of working through this and thinking about how complicated it could be, it's also easier than that. Because if you think about it, first of all, we've seen characters on screen that have been in.
So
that's kind of what he was saying before a few weeks ago. I think I saw where he was saying basically that when Kevin Feige said it. I see that happening, but I do believe that's Disney kind of saying, okay, we kind of screwed the pooch. Feige, take back over.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think personally, it's a little bit confusing, right? I think you could have just did, a reset after Secret Wars, didn't matter, and everything set up. You had the MCU, like after Secret Wars, it combines to one world, and it feels like everybody was already there. They could have did it that way, but now for some reason, I guess they want to get rid of everything that has happened. That includes Wolverine and Daredevil. That includes Spider-Man No Way Home. That includes the next Spider-Man movie that's coming.
Not entirely. Again, if they wrap up the multiverse and pull the characters they want into this universe, Spider-Man still exists. Some of this stuff still exists.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying they don't exist, but everything we've seen didn't happen. right?
Well, that's
So
not necessarily true, because if they bring it back to this universe, whatever this one is, the 616 or whatever, then No Way Home still happened because that was done here. Now, the other two Peter Parkers, all that got closed up. So that means they're gone. That means they are gone. So fundamentally, they no longer exist here. They're never coming back. So those moments were at that moment. Again, we've been splitting this universe and seeing the cracks in the earth or in the sky, and Monica Rambeau going through to another universe and things like that. But all of that is happening from the perspective of the 616. Multiverse of Madness starts here. Far From Home starts here. All of that stuff starts here and travels outside or brings something from outside into here. So fundamentally, we've never spent a whole movie outside of 616. We have only introduced portions of the multiverse. So what they're saying is the ones that have been dragged in can stay if they want them to, or they can punt them out just as quick.
no,
So this is just basically a way of handpicking what we want to keep.
No, what they're basically saying is that it's going okay. So everything that happens after Endgame, right? Doomsday is going to continue everything that happened after Endgame. So it's pretty much because you remember when they say, if something goes back in time or whatever, it's a timeline. This is not going
It's a
back in
skew.
right. This
Okay,
is not
yeah.
going back in time. This is actually saying that everything that we seen after Endgame, it happened, but it doesn't exist because Doomsday is going to be in the 616.
We'll have to see what happens. I'm not, I don't know. I think that it's, again, a lot of things have been said in the MCU to throw people off, and they always do it around the Avengers movies. They show us the Hulk in places the Hulk isn't. They we hear somebody's going to show up and then they don't. And we're talking about the Avengers movies right now. So therefore, they've always thrown out the
He said,
most outlandish and craziest stuff.
yeah, Mike said they just renewed another season of Daredevil. This news is BS. Which news? The Daredevil news? Because I agree with you. We don't need a season 3 of Daredevil yet because we don't even know what season 2 is going to look like. And season 1
Season
was
1.2.
caca. Yeah, pretty much. Season 1 was
Season
caca.
1.2.
I think they will start a new universe with recasts and actors they want to keep. Yeah, 100%. And as you know, if you watch the rewind, the first thing Brian said when he heard this was, "Hey, recast T'Challa." So that's what everybody is thinking about, and they probably will do is they get to recast T'Challa along with that too, right? So, I mean, at the end of the day, if
Right.
that's what they do, then I guess I'm down for it as long as they do it right,
They can
So
do whatever they want. I mean, but I still have to take it with a grain of salt, knowing that they could change. That they say this stuff because they know these are the big movies and they're hoping to totally catch people off guard.
yeah, it's rumors right now. We don't know how true it is yet. Pretty
Yeah.
much rumors about it. So definitely be interesting to see what they do. Um, yeah, other than that, you guys have anything else?
No.
I won't hate it if they reset it. Like I said, if they do it right. If they do it crazy, then they're gonna get even more criticism than they're receiving now. So they gotta just make sure if they do in fact do it, then it gotta be correct. But it could be a way to, if they do it correctly, I think garner some goodwill with the fans. Because right now there's a lot of doubt and a lot of people lacking faith in the decisions that they're making. And I thought I would never see 3 MCU movies be financial flops at the box. That's just unheard of.
Mm-hmm.
1 from here, but 3 back in a row, 3 back to back to back. That's, to me, that is a short indication we need to make some kind of course correction. So maybe this resetting is a course correction.
Yeah, I got you. 100%. I just hope they do it right. Mike said, damn, also just full of poop takes tonight. What's up, Canada? What poop takes? Daredevil? You know that's a good take, Mike. You know Daredevil was trash, bro. What are we talking about here? Like we didn't get to see Daredevil in the suit until like a couple of episodes towards the end, and that little clown ass ending where he protects. Yeah, it was garbage. We'll see what they do with season 2.
My big question right now is where the fuck is Derrick Henry in this game?
Well,
Listen,
he projected to get 19 points. He got 15.
Oh, does
well,
he? I haven't
Yeah.
seen. I've been watching it. I haven't seen him do shit. But okay.
yeah. He has a touchdown. He has a couple runs.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
But
but
that didn't do very well. Oh,
no, nothing.
oh,
Give him nothing. Give him nothing. Get him. Come on. Yes, bro. There we go. Let's go Detroit. That's what I'm talking about, boys. Well, guys, we are going to watch the end of the game because it seems like it's a good one. The genre might be done. Superman didn't do well either. No, the genre is not done. It's not done. Trust me.
that's like saying action movies are over.
Yeah, it's not
We're
done.
running the same
do them more
stereotypical
sparingly.
ones.
They should not have done those 3 movies in
Well,
a 6
again,
time frame. That's crazy.
I said it back when we were coming out of Fluffy Bunny disease. I said that they're going to have to release all of these so quickly, one after another, and they've been doing that. We weren't getting them like this.
Mm.
We weren't getting them like this, so we had time to kind of contemplate and think, "Whoa, what does this mean?" And then the next one that came out had a little to do with what was going on in the main story, but not everything to do with it. So therefore, you sit there and you have time to think about how's this going to play out, how's this going to fit in, and then this time there's like no time to talk about it, no time to think about it. It's just boom, 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 boom. They're not following through with their end credit scenes. There's a lot of problems with this that have made it hard to watch because most of this stuff, guys, has only happened in the last 5 years. We have almost gotten 10 years worth of movies in 5 years.
Yeah, and the qualities were really bad on some of those movies too, as
Rushed
well.
it, and they pushed
Right.
it through, and we saw it in
The TV
CGI,
shows, and,
TV show, everything. It's like so. Again, Anzo said it. Ever since the bug, it's changed a lot of crap.
Mhm.
And the only way to fix that is maybe what they're going to try to do, total reset of some sort, and slow down.
Mhm.
Think about each movie as you get it, and say, what are we doing? What are we trying to do? And what's a little bit of what's next, and how does this feed into what's next?
You see, what people don't understand, right, is it's getting more and more expensive to go to a movie. People are questioning which movies they're gonna go see. They're not gonna go see 5 movies in a year anymore. They'll go see 2. They'll go see 3. Especially if they have a big family. Then if that's the case, then they're gonna wait until a good kid movie comes out. But if you think do you think they're gonna go see Jurassic Park, then Superman, and then Fantastic Four all in the same month? That's not happening. That's not happening. There will be some that will do it, but majority of the people will pick one of the 3 because it's
Yep.
too expensive to go to theaters, man. Way too expensive. $100 for 2 or 3 people? That's crazy. That's crazy. So hard to find new movies to watch with my dad these days. Did those Marvel movies really do bad? Look at the grosses and you might be surprised. They did bad, Mike. They did bad. The main
Again,
thing that's different these days is the international gross. Geez, wonder why.
and
I mean,
there's
that's a part of it,
we don't
but
know. You add streaming. We don't know anything about the streaming revenue or whether they're counting streaming
Mhm.
revenue. We don't know that the 3 weeks or whatever when they first put up the Thunderbolts. Like, we don't know if all of the new subscriptions are counted towards it. We don't know if all of that month's subscriptions are counted towards that. We don't have any clue about streaming. So we're at a time where we really don't know what a movie's doing, and both of you guys have said it, and I've said it, that they're really not caring. They get everything they can up front 4 weeks in to the movie theater, and then say boom, boom, put it up on streaming.
There was a
or
great
rent it out
video.
on streaming.
There was a great video I watched, and if I ever find it, I have to send it to you. But it basically explains how these movie companies work now, right? And this is the reason why, like, movies are staying in theaters for 45 days and boom, they're right on VOD. And the reason why is because they get 100% of the money where it's VOD. So I'm telling you, it's just going to get to a point where they're just going to want to put it out on VOD because that way it takes away from them having to give money to the theater, right? You have people who have 100-inch TVs, stereo, surround sound.
They
So
don't. They don't get, the theaters do not get that much money. Why do you think you're paying $15 for a freaking thing of popcorn?
yeah, but that's
That's
the
where they make
popcorn.
their
No,
money.
yeah, I know that, but that's what I'm saying. The revenue from the theaters, I believe it's 50-50 between the or
I don't
30-60 or
think
something like that.
so.
Check it out. But I heard someone said 50-50 somewhere. I heard 30-70. But either or, whatever the theater gets, you take that away, and that's 100% profit if it goes to VOD straight away, right? And with the fact that, again, a lot of these movies now are not making as much money in the theater, it's just going to be a matter of time where it's going to only be like big movies that are people are going to see, like, you know how when the opera comes out. So yeah, go ahead.
So movie ticket revenue is split between studios and theaters using a sliding scale that favors the studio heavily at first and becomes more favorable for the theater over time. Often starting at 90% to the studio the first week and moving toward 50% or similar split as the movie theatrical run goes. That's why they're making it shorter, because they can get more money from the theater up front. And then, like you said, they get 100% when it goes to, and yeah, that's what they're doing. And I'm not sure how that's ever going to get fixed, but people will still go to the theater. It's just going to get stupid. And like you said, people will have to make a choice. People will have to make a choice now. I mean, Downton, okay, and I know you guys probably wouldn't want to watch this movie, and I might watch it. I'm not a huge fan, but Downton Abbey, it's in theaters. I don't need to go see it in the theater. I don't need to go spend $20 on it. I will wait for it to get to streaming, and if I want to watch it, that's where I'll watch that show. Any drama, I'm not going to spend $20 to do that. I will wait for it to get to streaming. Superhero movie, action movie, I will go to the movies every
Star
time.
Wars. Yeah.
Star Wars, yeah, absolutely.
But that's what I'm saying. So it's going to get to a point where some of these movies won't even make it, like it's not even going to be worth it to bring in theaters. You know what I mean?
They're going to thin the herd. They're going to thin the herd on that.
Yeah, agreed. With that being said, guys, it was a great show. Thank you all for popping in. Much appreciated. Danny, tell the people where they can find you one more time, sir.
You can find me on my channel on Mondays and Fridays at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find me here on Mondays when we go live. You can find me Wednesday on the Hangout, Sundays on Storms Live, and of course, one more week of Alien Earth. We'll be talking about the season, hopefully the season finale, or maybe the series finale. We don't quite know yet. Then I got another channel called The Way I See It, and I upload all kind of things that I normally don't want to reserve to upload to the Road of Wisdom. But check that out. I appreciate it, guys. Good show. Great show.
Absolutely. They should have went for it. 4th and 5. Should have went for it. You don't want to give these guys the ball back, bro. What are we doing here? Chris, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
Yeah, you can find me at the Real Review 3000 Chaos Central Hunt Star YT. Sometimes up there on Danny's channel, sometimes over on Anja's channel. Here, there, and everywhere. I am the original stream whore. It's patented. It's not pending anymore. It's full on patent, trademarked, stamped. Won't tell you where it's stamped. Anyways, no, but great show. Enjoy it. And yeah, we'll be here next week doing the Rule of 3. I'm pretty sure we got more, final 5 factor fiction that got answered. Yeah, so looking forward to that. But yeah, great stream. I love the topics today. It's great.
Mike said it was a great show other than the garbage takes on the garbage prequels. Mike, I sometimes
they need to give us phantom zoning of people.
Listen, me and Mike will sit there and we will trash those Nolan movies like we are brothers at arms. And then he comes in here and he says this blasphemy. I don't know where I stand with this guy anymore. You know what I mean?
Danny says it all the time, man. Listen to his gospel and the stuff he says during that. You got to watch the people you surround yourself with.
You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, it is the road to the devil.
You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, we'll sit there and be like, yeah, Nolan trash this and that. Then he'll say the Penguin is good, which blows my mind. Right? How do you get not like the Batman, but like the Penguin? Makes no sense to me. And then he comes in here and just trashes the prequels. And I think I've even heard him say that the sequels were better than the prequels. So
Lord. No.
you know what I mean? Like, and then Shifty gives him, but we already know about Shifty gives him, right? Shifty gives him the same guy who hates the show because his predictions didn't come through. You know what I mean? So you know what I'm saying. With that being said, guys, peace, love, and hair grease. Shifty, you can get me back on Saturday for that one, but we will see you on the next one. Oh, tomorrow night we will be discussing Gen V, so make sure to check that out, which will be very interesting. So, yeah. With that being said, peace.
Peace.